One man stands behind the glass walls of Wall Street, watching numbers rise like tidal waves. Another steps onto scorching tennis courts, carrying the weight of millions of eyes. To worlds that should never meet, to lives that seem to share nothing in common, and to flip their stories upside down and realize that all lives that have touched the peak and plunged into the Agassi beat to the same hidden rhythm. This is not a story about wealth, nor a legend of trophies. This is a story about a person utterly broken can use rhythm as bricks to rebuild themselves piece by piece, and that blueprint of rhythm must be drawn from scratch by hand. Andre Agassi's tennis career, did it begin with passion? No, it began with a machine. His father built a serving machine, a monster they called Dragon. At 7, Agassi hit thousands balls every day. This wasn't training, it was indoctrination. A rigid rhythm that drained the vitality from his childhood. He later wrote, "I hated tennis, deeply, truly hated." But the world only heard the echo of talent, never the screams that followed. Meanwhile, Dalio was as ordinary a boy as you could imagine. Average grades, no grand ambitions, like a ship without compass, drifting through school. He earned pocket money carrying golf bags. One day, he overheard wealthy players talking about stocks, a concept he didn't understand, but one that quietly opened a door for him, a door that could change everything. One child forced into a fate he didn't choose, another stumbled into a future he didn't yet understand. Their beginnings weren't about love, but only chance and circumstance. In the 1990s, Agassi was more than a tennis star. He was a pop culture icon, neon outfits, wild hairstyles. A rock star with a racket. But behind this spectacle, his inner world was collapsing. A back would gradually refuse to cooperate. A sense of self that blurred day by day. Control slipping away. His ranking didn't just drop, it plunged from world number 1 to 141. Glory on the outside, emptiness within. Dalio rose fame in finance for predicting the 1970s debt crisis. Confidence swelled into certainty. Certainty hardened into arrogance. In 1982, he bet U.S. economy would enter a new Great Depression. He was completely wrong. His firm collapsed. Employees left. Money vanished. He had to borrow $4,000 from his father just to survive. To men, to words, same trajectory. Lifted to the clouds, then thrown down onto jagged rocks. Sometimes, success isn't a blessing, it's a trap, set by fate, ensuring the fall is painful enough to awaken you. At his lowest, Dalio discovered a core insight that reshaped his thinking. Pain is a signal, not a final verdict. He began treating mistakes like experiments, record failures, analyze the root, extract principles, apply next time. No emotion, no ego. Like a scientist testing his own mind. This became the blueprint for principles, the system that would guide billions of dollars in assets. When Agassi was ready to quit, Coach Brand Gibber threw him a lifeline. Stop performing. Play honest tennis. Only hitting the shots with the highest chance of success. Honesty means no more flashy shots, no more pleasing others, no more pretending to love the game. To be honest, he had to face the truth he had long avoided. He didn't love tennis, but he could love the fight, to be clear and true. Both men realize rebirth is about power, talent, or resources. It's about creating a completely new internal operating system. Dalio embedded two radical principles into Bridgewater: extreme transparency, idea meritocracy. Every meeting recorded, every mistake dissected. Every decision fed into a growing algorithmic network. He transformed the subjective human judgment into an objective decision-making process. Bridgewater became more than a hedge fund. It became the externalization of Dalio's mind, a machine producing clarity. Agassi cut his signature long hair, abandoned flashy appearances, wore simple white clothing, and played the most boring yet effective tennis of his career. Less flash, more precision, more discipline, more pattern recognition. He reputed himself as a strategist, not a performer. From 141st in the world, he climbed back to number 1. A comeback many athletes still consider impossible. Bridgewater became the world's largest hedge fund. Dalio topped the billionaire list multiple times. But he insists true victory isn't wealth. My system shields me from emotional bias. That's real freedom. Agassi won more Grand Slams, achieved Golden Slam, built a family, and devoted himself to education and charity. But his greatest victory was, I finally became the person I choose to be, not the person others demanded I become. Both men descended the label to the world gave them. They are no longer genius, champion, child prodigy. They became architects of themselves. You may never manage billions or play the final in a Grand Slam, but you will face moments of collapse in work, in relationships, in identity. When that moment comes, these two men offer universal blueprint. Embrace the collapse. Failure is not the end, it's a system alert. Reflect precisely. Turn pain into questions that demand answers. Extract your principles. The few rules you will never compromise. Build your personal system. Let principles drive daily decisions. Win your freedom. When the system works, You are no longer ruled by emotion, chaos, or fate. The strongest life is no one without force. It's one where, after each fall, you rise again, using a system you designed yourself. I believe this is a gift with Dalio and Agassi living for us. If you are enjoying this show, don't forget to like, thumbs up, and subscribe. Your support really helps us get better. See you next time.